Hi, welcome to Buckle Up Garage. This is going to be the official inaugural video, even though I did post up a few things that I had on my phone just to get something on the channel to get things going. Some practice run stuff that I recorded while I was down in Old Car City in White, Georgia, a few months back, beginning of November. Not the most clean things that you're probably ever going to see, and obviously this probably isn't going to be either. I got to figure this out. Uh, Not usually the most talkative person, and that obviously is a big part of running a YouTube channel. Is uh, you know keeping people up on what you're doing, explaining what you're doing. So I got a feeling there's going to be a learning experience for me. As far as the tech end of things, I literally right now have got my phone. The selfie stick is a Sawzall blade that is clamped into the back of my phone holder with a rag zip tied onto it so it doesn't, the teeth of the Sawzall blade don't dig into my hand. It will get better, I promise. So, what is my plan for this? Um, I think as we go, like I stated in the tagline for the whole thing, uh, my hot rod projects, the car stuff, the toys. Not that I got a lot of them, but I got. There's always something here that isn't necessarily a daily that I like to work on, along with the things that I have to do the daily drivers. It's been a big part of what I've done over the years, and I think is probably a big part of what uh, the people watching this have done over the years. I've always been a car guy. I don't remember a time when they didn't interest me or they got my attention. As I got older, there was just a natural want to work on them. As I became a young adult, me and one of my longtime friends started flipping cars in what we still call survival mode. It wasn't that you necessarily wanted to work on your cars, you had to work on your cars. You couldn't afford to pay somebody to fix whatever was going on. It was maybe something you knew how to do, or maybe it was something you didn't know how to do, but you had to get to work the next day. And that car was what was going to get you there. So there was no way out. One way or the other, whatever was messed up was getting fixed. Maybe it was going to be right. Maybe you're going to have to redo it, but you had to get to work. Survival mode. Like I said, I think there's probably a lot of people out there that know what that is. So there's going to be some hot roddy kind of stuff, and there's probably going to be some not so hot roddy stuff that's just basic mechanics, basic maintenance, things that maybe I take for granted as being simple, that is intimidating to people. That maybe if a knucklehead like me can get this done, anybody can. Maybe you're into it and you don't realize you're into it, and just that initial grabbing a wrench, and getting it done might spark something in you. So, am I thinking I'm going to be inspirational? No, I'm not thinking I'm going to be, but maybe it happens. So, quick overview of where Buckle Up Garage is. It's in my garage. I'm just working out of my residential. It's a 2.5 car garage, probably like most people out there have. I don't have a huge shop. I don't think I will ever have a huge shop, but I make do with it. I'm in southeastern Wisconsin, so as of recording this, we are coming into mid-December, and it is getting cold, and be kind of selective about what you're doing. You got to get in, get it done, because it's going to be nasty out. A lot of projects just got to be put on hold till the weather gets better. But currently, we're not doing too bad. So I'll film when I can. Maybe try and fill things in a little bit. Something more entertaining that doesn't require me to be out in sub-zero temperatures any more than I have to. So let me flip the camera around and give you a little idea of what I'm working with. All right. Like I said, typical 2.5 car garage, and my little stash of stuff. It is a disaster zone right now. In fact, after I'm done filming this, I've got to start hauling some stuff out of the garage and over to the storage unit, so this is more workable for the winter. I haven't been out here, I'll be honest, in probably 2 weeks. I just came back from a road trip to Florida and left it in a bit of a disaster. So again, getting a lot of this stuff out of the way for the winter so I can get it set up so it's usable. That is not car parts. That is for my wife's business. Her business is called Bitch and Threads. She does embroidery, t-shirts, hats, and things like that. So I've kind of got a built-in merchandising department if this takes off. So as far as what I work on, or what I've got here to work on, this is probably going to be the primary one of interest. That is my 69 Chrysler New Yorker. I call him Fat Bastard. I've had him for probably, it's going on 12 years. It was a stalled project for a long time. Money wasn't there. Motivation wasn't there. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes the stuff just, you get into a part of it and you maybe run into some stumbling blocks and you just get sick of dealing with it and you shove it into the garage. I had initially, when I initially got it, I got it from a good friend of mine. At that time, it had a 318 in it. He had bought it from a guy who, as typically happened with a lot of these, had bought it for the 440 and put a 318 in it just to make it run and move. He had it for a few years and kind of did nothing with it because honestly it was kind of boring that way. I got it and tuned it, drove it around for I think 2 years with the 318 in it, and used it for a daily for a while. I think the first summer I had it, I put like 8,000 miles on it, and got my hands on a 400, 77, 78 400, and started putting that together. That's what I had. It's what was available to me. I wish it would have been a 440. There will probably be a 440 in this thing at some point in its life, but right now it's the 400. First incarnation of it, had it in, ran like garbage. I ended up taking it back out, which you'll see is a common theme with this car. Motor in, motor out, motor in, motor out. And at one point just got fed up, and it sat for 4 years, maybe 5 years, with the engine taken apart on the stand in the corner of the garage. When I finally got back into it, I literally got to a point where I even forgot the car was there, covered in crap, and just said, pulled the motor out of the corner, and I didn't prep it like I should have, and it got a lot of internal rust on the cylinder walls and things like that, so I basically had to start from scratch. So anyway, bought the car. As I said, a 69 Chrysler New Yorker. It's a two-door, obviously, which is a little rare, and it is a factory floor shift bucket seat car that probably isn't really common in a New Yorker. A little bit of my wife's handiwork. She made some temporary seat covers out of sweatshirts that she embroidered Fat Bastard on for me, which is pretty cool. She did a great job. Overall, it ain't great. It looks pretty good from a distance, but it is a typical Midwestern rusty car. Besides the motor issues, gone through the transmission. I've changed the gears in it. It had a worn out set of 276s. I came across a set of three. You got to go way back, the late 50s. There, the 8 3/4. There was a version of it that was the case castings on it are 652s. It essentially turned into the 741 case, but the housing is a little different inside. And came up with this set. They're 331 gears. I pulled those apart, and I had a sure grip unit that was kind of laying around. Put the sure grip in it and dropped that in, and that really helped the car out a lot. It's getting kind of windy here today. Let me quick pop the hood so you can see that. And like I said, the engine's a 478. The trans on the back of it was the trans it was born with. So unfortunately, it is it's a 727. It is a lockup torque converter version of it. So right now, the torque converter that's in this thing is nowhere near what it wants. Internally, it's pretty stock. They are sealed power pistons, basically factory replacements. 452 heads, open chamber with the steel head gaskets. If this thing's got 8-to-1 compression, 8 1/4-to-1 compression, that's probably pushing it. It could use more compression. Camshaft is a comp cam that did not go flat when I broke it in. I'm not sure how I got lucky like that, because it seems like a lot of people are having those issues. It's an extreme energy grind. 484 on the intake, 491 on the exhaust. So it's got a little, it's like 110 degree lobe separation. So it's got a little bit of lobe to it, but it's a mid-range cam, which is exactly what I wanted with this thing. The whole idea with this car was that it would be a jump in and go car, and I could just use it. Took a long time to get there, but after most of this summer getting things dialed in, ran an Edelbrock carb on it, an Edelbrock 750 for a while. It ran okay, but Edelbrocks are decent carburetors, but I guess I know Holley's a little better. So I got a 750 Holley vacuum secondary on there now. Got that dialed in, and after chasing down, one of the reasons the motor came out again was chasing the rear main leak on this thing. If any of you deal with Mopar big blocks, they sometimes can be an extreme pain in the ass to get right and get them so they don't leak. Was out, I think, twice chasing that, and got it right. It's not leaking anymore. Got it dialed in. Didn't quite get everything done to it that I wanted to, but I was able to, at the beginning of November, take it on a road trip down to Florida. Did like 26 or 2,700 miles round trip. I was flat out shocked. If you would have told me at the beginning of the summer I was going to be doing that with this car, I would have told you you're crazy. It went through a half a quart of oil there and back, so it's tight. It's doing what it's supposed to do. But like everybody's projects and probably yours, it's never done. It'll never be done. Case in point, since it is not a Camaro or a Mustang or a Challenger or a Charger, you can't buy anything for these cars, sheet metal wise, anything like that. So it's, when it comes to making this car solid, I'm going to have to go old school. And while it's not bad, it needs lower quarters, it needs trunk extensions, the passenger floor is getting weak, and the biggest thing is the subframe right under the driver's side is getting soft. If you don't know these cars, it's still considered a unibody, but it's the C-body Chrysler, Mopars, the Chryslers, and the C-body Plymouths and Dodges are different than the B-bodies and the E-bodies and A-bodies. The front subframe is removable, a lot like the Chevy Camaros and Novas. so it can be unbolted and removed. And for that, I have a parts car. I have my 69 Chrysler 300. That I'll probably do a more in-depth on this one. That's under the cover next to the garage. That one's going to get carved up for this one before anybody freaks out, because it's a 69 300. It is garbage. It is flat out garbage. And we'll get into that probably in a different video, and then what I want to take out of it or remove from it. So, that being said, I think that's about where I want to be with my first video. Like I said, I will figure this out, get a little better at it, but I figure I got to get something out there, maybe just kind of get a little introduction as to, where I think this is going to go, and really what I'm hoping for. And if nothing else, it's just a way for me to keep track of what I'm doing, and then filing it away. So, if you're interested, I would appreciate a like and subscribe. If you got knucklehead car friends like me, maybe mention it to them. Let's give this a shot. And I really appreciate any support I can get from anybody. And we'll go from here. So until the next video, I appreciate you taking the time to watch this or look at any of the videos that I've put up so far. And I guess that's where we're going to go with it. So thanks again, and we'll talk to you all later.